Hey everyone, well, in this video, we are going to talk about modern authentication and we'll try to understand the role of identity provider. Well, modern authentication, as the name says, is all about authentication and authorization between a client and a server. The client here is maybe your phone, your laptop, or any device by which you're trying to access a website or an application that would fall under this server. So client and server, and when client try to access an application through the server or any server, there's an authentication happening in between, like username and password, the old ways. Now, in modern authentication, we are not deploying anything. We are taking the benefit of IDPs, which are identity providers. So with modern authentication, all services, including all authentication services, are provided by central IDP. So that's why it's modern authentication. If you talk about traditional, let's go back in the days. It's like you're trying to access one server, you are giving your username and password, and server will give you the access. Now you're trying to access another server, you have to give your username and password to another server, and both the servers should have your details to authenticate. Now in modern authentication, you need not to worry about spinning up the Active Directory and taking care of managing those servers where the AD is spinning. And in modern authentication, it's all about getting involved with the IDPs or establish the trust relationship with the IDPs and authenticate your users. Okay, so this is what the IDPs are. This is what the IDPs is. And this is usually the central identity management or central identity provider. So with a central identity provider, organization can establish authentication and authorization policies, monitor user behavior, identify suspicious activities, and reduce the malicious attacks. Everything is attached or integrated or involved with the central identity provider. For example, you can use Azure Active Directory as a centralized identity provider. We do have others like Facebook, Twitter, other like Instagram, right? Google, there's so many things, right? And even you have seen that when you're trying to access something new, some new blog or maybe some new website, they do give you an option like you can authenticate yourself with third-party identity providers, right? So that's what the IDPs are. That's what the IDP's role here is. Now, we also need to understand the single sign-on. It is single sign-on you must be aware of already because it's not that new. It has already been there, but just for the sake of certification, let's talk about a little bit on the SSO. So SSO is like you're logging into your computer, and once you provide your credentials, you could able to access multiple applications. You need not to verify yourself again and again with different credentials for different applications. This is what the single sign-on is. So another fundamental capability of an identity provider and modern authentication is the support for SSO. With SSO, the users logs in once and the credential is used to access multiple application or resources, as I mentioned. So let me share my screen and try to explain the modern authentication with the help of IDPs, if that would help. So let me quickly share my screen. All right, I hope you can see my screen now. Let me open this paint. Now let's suppose this is IDP and this is your client, maybe your laptop or something. Let's suppose this is your laptop and these are your servers. This is your server where you maybe your application running. Let's put it like a server, you know. You can call it anything. the website or application running. This is IDP, this is client, and this is our server. So as I mentioned, what earlier used to happen, client tried to access this server and provide username and password here. And server will authenticate and let it access as per the authorization. Now, if there are multiple servers, we're talking about the old days, if there are multiple servers here, then all the server has to keep all these credentials for every client which is trying to access these servers. So this was the like old days. Now, what is the best way now with the help of IDPs? There is a trust relationship between IDP and the server or the application which is running, and client will authenticate itself with IDPs and get the reply as in security token. And it will show this security token to the server, and server will verify the security token because there is a trust relationship and will allow client to get in. So no need to, save credentials or authentication mechanism on each and every server. It would be centralized, managed by the IDPs. So that's how it's happening in the modern authentication world. So let me write this down. This will cred. Okay, let me make it black. And this will give you the security token. And this security token would be provided to this server by this client, right? So this server validates the security token because there is a trust relationship going on here. Trust relationship with the identity provider. So security token and the information that is contained within the security token, the user application can gain access to the required resources on the server. Everything is there in the security token, all the information which is needed for the authorization as well. All right. So now let's suppose on this server there are multiple applications are running and client is using the same ID for all these applications. This is what the SSO is. So I hope this is clear as per our certification, as per. So I hope this is clear now. It is not like we are not getting into the depth of each and everything because this mechanism, modern authentication and Azure Active Directory itself deserves a single certification. It's that big of a topics, right? But for our SC-900 or security and compliance fundamentals, we need to be aware, need to know what is modern authentication, what is IDPs, what is SSO. So as per the certification perspective, we are good. We have covered all these. Let's meet in another video where we'll be covering the next chapter. Take care and bye-bye.